watching Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with yet another Washington football team video, and in today's video I'm just coming on here to talk about why I believe Washington needs to draft a linebacker at 19. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications. Straight into today's video. So in my opinion, as you guys know, I believe that the Washington football team should draft a linebacker at 19. I feel like that's our biggest weakness on this team outside of obviously quarterback. And honestly, like a lot of people have been saying, me, Pedro, Chris Cooley, and a lot of other insiders for the Washington football team and YouTubers, they've been saying that Washington is a linebacker away from having the best defense in all of football, and I honestly couldn't agree with more than that. Yes, I understand the secondary isn't the best. I feel like it's good enough to be successful, as you seen last year with the splurge of Cameron Curl, with the emergence of DeShazer Everett. Jeremy Reeves stepped in, and also Ronald Darby. Kendall Fuller had his woes here and there, but he was all around solid too. So the secondary, it's not the best. It's not the most eye-popping secondary. Obviously, it doesn't have the Jalen Ramseys or the Stephon Gilmores in that secondary, but it's good enough to win. And I feel like Washington's biggest need on defense and on this team, honestly, like I said, outside of quarterback, is the linebacker position, the middle linebacker position to be exact. We're going to be a force to reckon with in the NFC for multiple years. Now, when it comes to linebacker, I wouldn't mind getting a free agent linebacker like a Jayon Brown, like a Levante David, just to name a few. But what I would rather do is go in the draft, because there are a ton of great linebackers in this draft. And the reason why I want to go linebacker at 19 is because I feel like Washington should go offense heavy in this free agency coming up. We have a ton of money, and we have a ton of areas, especially wide receiver, that we need to address on the offense. Like I said, we can go cheap at linebacker, but also get a great linebacker, one of these young studs in the draft, and also sign a guy maybe like a KJ Wright if he hits the free agent market, to have that veteran leadership at linebacker but also still can play, and then also develop our young guy that we draft. That's what I believe Washington should do. I believe that's the smartest thing to do, is go offense heavy in free agency because we need it, and then draft a star-studded linebacker at 19, and then also bring in a veteran linebacker for cheap, a guy like KJ Wright. And I know it's plenty more out there, but a guy like KJ Wright is the person that I want. He can come in, play for maybe a year, or even play for a little bit while he's still developing our young stud, whoever that may be, at the middle linebacker, and we can be set, man. I'm telling you, linebacker is the biggest issue, and I feel like we need to address it at 19. Get a young guy in here. We're going to be paying the young guy that much money. He's going to be on a rookie contract, and he can become a stud. Just don't see any negatives of going with a linebacker at 19. Yeah, maybe you don't get your quarterback, but who's to say that we don't roll with someone on the roster, or we don't get our guy in free agency? You never know. You just have to wait and see. But like I said, I feel like going linebacker at 19 is the smartest way to go for this team, because I'm telling you, we're missing a middle linebacker. If we get that solved this offseason, we are going to be a force to reckon with. We know Cole Holcomb has the strong side locked down. We don't know the status on KPL. He could possibly be back, or we could possibly sign a new free agent, or we can draft one in the later rounds, or we can hope for Reuben Foster to play the weak side. I don't know. We have to figure that out. I really want KPL back because he was really good for us. So we have Cole Holcomb locked down that strong side. Weak side is a question mark, and middle linebacker is obviously the biggest question mark. I feel like if we go into 2021 with our stud in the middle, Cole Holcomb at strong side, and KPL at weak side, or whoever that may be, we are going to be phenomenal. I'm telling you. You guys are probably wondering, who do I want to draft at 19 as far as the linebackers goes? You obviously have Micah Parsons, who's the best linebacker in this draft class, who I believe isn't going to be around. He's going to go probably top 5 and maybe stretch out to top 10, maybe. I don't see him falling nowhere near our range. Maybe if he gets to 13, we can probably try to trade up, but I still wouldn't do it because there's still a lot of other good linebackers in this draft. But Micah Parsons is the best one by far. Then following him, you have Zaven Collins, who is a lot of people's favorites in this draft, who I like a lot, coming out of Tulsa. I just recently started watching film with him, and the dude is amazing. He can be a pass rusher. He can be a middle linebacker as we need here, which is his main job. It's so much you can do with Zaven Collins. It's just amazing. I really like Zaven Collins. And a guy that I'm getting put on, his name is Nick Bolton. I just found out about him. He's a 6-foot junior out of Missouri. A lot of people feel like he will be phenomenal in Washington. I don't really know too much about Nick Bolton yet. I gotta watch my film on him, but I'm hearing he's really good. I don't know yet, but I wouldn't mind him. He's the 3rd ranked best linebacker in this draft class. Not mind getting a guy like Nick Bolton, but I still have to do my due diligence and homework on a guy like Nick Bolton. And he's 6 foot 232, which is a little bit undersized for a linebacker position, but you kind of went away in this new generation of football away from the big middle linebackers. You still have the guys like Bobby Wagner here and there, but you kind of went to these flashy and finesse linebackers that are small, undersized, and able to play the middle linebacker position. A guy like Isaiah Simmons, who really hasn't found his way in Arizona, but he's the perfect example that I can use as far as guys that's in the NFL. And a guy like Nick Bolton, he's undersized, but it's not about how tall you are, it's about how hard you play. And like I said, according to 247 Sports and CBS Sports, he is the 3rd best linebacker in this 2021 draft class. The 4th ranked best linebacker in this draft is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame. A lot of people like him too. I've been talking about him a little bit. He's really good from Notre Dame. I would not be mad if we got him. But like a lot of people have been recognizing and pointing out to me, is that he hasn't been in a lot of people's mock drafts in the 1st round, and I really don't care for that. The only thing about Jeremiah, like I said about Nick Bolton, he's a little bit undersized. He's 6'1", 215. He's very undersized for his height and his position, but like I said, in this new generation of football, you kind of went away from those big stocky linebackers to the, fast sideline to sideline kind of linebackers, and that's what he really is. He can do it all. He can come downhill, make a tackle, he can pass coverage, and that's really what Washington's been missing, is pass coveraging linebackers. We have guys that can make tackles at the linebacker position. Tackling wasn't really that big of an issue. Now, we had a couple games this past year where we couldn't tackle for nothing. I remember those games, but tackling isn't too bad of an issue here, and I feel like what we need is a pass coverage and linebacker. And I didn't mind taking these 4 guys that I named, but you still have a lot of other guys like Dylan Moses, who's also a solid pickup if we do in fact draft him. In the top 5 guys on that list, according to 247 and CBS Sports, like I said, you still have guys out there like Dylan Moses, like Jabril Cox, like I said before, who are really good, who can be 2nd round, late 1st round picks, early 3rds if you want to have them out there that far. I don't see none of these guys, the top guys, making it that far, but you never know. The draft board could be a little shaky, and it doesn't always go according to plan. So with that being said, who's the guy that I want to draft at 19? It's a lot of good talent out there. The only one outside of Micah Parsons who I feel like is worthy enough of the 19th overall pick, and the guy that I want is Zaven Collins, man. I just feel like he's phenomenal. You can do so much with him. You can use him as a chess piece. You can go out there and put him at linebacker, which is his natural position. You can use him as edge rushers if you want to. It's so much you can do with him. Jack Del Rio will have so much fun with him, and I feel like you can't go wrong with a guy like Zaven Collins. Like I said, all the other guys that I named are really good, but I feel like he's the only one outside of Micah Parsons who's worthy enough of the 1st round. Yes, you have Jock out there who is really good too. He can be a 1st round pick, but where we're at, I feel like Zaven Collins is the perfect guy. Hey, I wouldn't even be surprised if he's not there at our pick. That's how good the guy is. That's the guy that I want, and that's the guy I hope Washington drafts. Like I said, JDR will have so much fun with this guy. You can use him as a chess piece. You can move him around, like I said. Everything you can do, everything you wish for in a middle linebacker, he brings to the table. Like Chris Cooley said, like I said, like Pedro said, we're a middle linebacker away, really competing in the NFC. And if we get this guy, we're set. Zaven Collins and KJ Wright, bring him in like I keep mentioning. Let him mentor Zaven Collins while he's still playing. And then also have Cole Holcomb holding down the strong side. Weak side could be KPL, Reuben Foster maybe, or whoever that may be. And we are set. I'm telling you, this defense is going to be scary once we get that middle linebacker, and that's who I believe we should draft at 19. So with that being said, it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, head to the Washington football team. Let me know who you guys think we should draft down below. Do you agree with me or do you not? Like, comment, subscribe, head to the Washington football team. It's been your boy Juan Gotti. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you pop. Get you pop, get you drop, slide on the one where they get you boxed on. I ain't stopping till I get me